All right, post video me coming back with some thoughts that I think I forgot in the video. There will be food available in Patrick at the pits. If you come over, I think around 10 to noon, maybe to 1, they'll have food there, and anything spent there will go and support the Pine Straw Festival Committee. So if you show up there and you buy food, it's not going to some random gut truck. It's going to the committee that does, some of the stuff around there, and it helps local people. And then I'm going to try and timestamp this because I feel like the video was a little bit long. If you want to see most of the stuff about how to come and spectate, that's going to be the first half of the video. If you want to see the stuff about the bike, go look at that. I just go over what I got on the bike, and it's a basic DRZ 400. So if you know everything about DRZs, not a whole lot of information there for you. So said I would make more videos. I got into a slump with videos trying to work on the bike and just not really knowing how to film any of that. And I ended up filming swapping the sprockets on the rear and talking about why I would want different gearing and everything. Then I threw a new seat cover on, took it to work, came back. Bike's running pretty good. I'll probably take a couple more rides before the race. We're less than a week out, but I figured I'd push out a little bit of information. Everything is pretty much out there except for the start order that comes out on the 27th, I believe, or 28th. But the start of the Sandblast is on the 27th. The 27th, there is the night stages, and that starts at 6:30, I believe. But there's a car and bike show there in Chiraw at 6 p.m. to 7:30. So 6 p.m., you can show up there just before that. Everyone will be showing up with their bikes and their cars, and you can look at those. You could talk to all the racers and all the drivers and riders and everything. And it's kind of fun just to get out there, look at what everyone has. And that's where you're really going to get a look at the vehicles, get close to them, talk to the people before the race, because there has been a couple times where people go out for the night stages and they'll break down, and you ended up not seeing the vehicles or those specific riders or drivers the next day. So show up on Saturday show up on Friday night if you want to just look at the vehicles and everything. But if you just want to watch the racing, that's going to be on the 27th. That'll be your best time to watch. But the 28th is all the day stages. And then on the 28th, the first vehicle rolls out at 8:31 in the morning. That will be at the Patrick Festival Field. It's open to the public, no vehicles. So if you drive over there, you park outside the fence and you can walk in. I believe it's around noon, the 10 o'clock to about 4 o'clock. You can come in, you can talk to everybody. Know that if you do show up, the racers probably won't be there very much because we only get about a 30-minute service 3 times in that day, I believe. So if you show up and you want to talk to the racers, you might have to sit around a little bit and wait for some of the cars to come in, some of the bikes to come in. And if you get in there, if you come up and talk to any of them, some of them might be working on their vehicles. So, keep your distance a little bit. But if they're not and they're just hanging out, you might be able to step up, say hello, talk about their vehicle or something if they're not having any issues. For sure, if you see me out there, walk up. Even if I'm working on the bike, I can work on things and talk all day. So it's not going to hurt me at all if you come up and you say hello and you have a full-blown conversation while I'm doing something. Typically, I don't adjust anything on race day. I'm not going for the fastest, so it's really just a trail ride, an all-day trail ride for me. But by all means, show up, come hang out, come talk to us. All the guys out there, they're fun to talk to. They all got good stories. They're from all kinds of walks of life. And you can see that for the most part, it's not just all these racing guys. There's a lot of older guys, a lot of younger guys. We're just out there all having fun. But for the information about the spectating, I'll put a link in the description for that, and it'll have all the information on how to get to the spectator spots. There's 4 set spectator locations for you, and for, I believe, 3 of them, you will be able to sit there all day. You can see all the cars and bikes go in the morning, and then in the afternoon, they'll come back and do a reverse loop of whatever they did the first time. When you do that, the directions they give you on the website, that is as if you were starting at Patrick. So if you are going to go to Patrick Field, where we're going to start the race, and you drive from there, that's how you're going to find it, because the directions are turn by turn, road by road. Or you can just go on Google Maps and you can kind of follow it with your finger until you find where the parking locations for those are. Most of the parking locations are fairly close to where you're going to be able to get to the spectating location. However, they're not all really accessible to small cars. Some of them, you'll be taking some thicker, deep sand roads in there, so you might have to park a little bit further away and walk in. So be sure to keep that in mind if you do show up for spectating wherever you go. If you watch some other YouTube channels and watch the race, you can kind of see where the spectating areas are and where you would want to sit. I might drop in the description where I would recommend to sit, because I think that would be a really fun spot to sit. It's usually not necessarily where any big stuff is happening, but it's a good sandy wash turn where you typically will see the riders, getting after it. Or it's going to be a location where it's just, the fastest flyby you're going to get of the day. So I'll post those on there if I can remember that, or if I watch the footage on where that was. I remember last year there was a lot of people that wanted to watch the higher speed stuff, and to me, I think that was really fun too, just to watch the high speed stuff versus somebody coming, slowing down into a corner and then taking off. You don't see much. So for the whole thing, the whole race is run by volunteers. Everyone is volunteers from the top down pretty much. And being that it's run by volunteers, we don't have a specific business frequency channel, anything like that to talk on. So, and if we were trying to use cell phones, it would just be, phone tag all over. So they use ham radio and ham radio operators to do all of that. And with that, they're on the Pageland repeater. So if you're a ham radio operator, you can jump on there and you can listen in. You can use it for communications, but they don't like when people stick up the repeater. So if you do want to listen in and you just want a cheap radio, if you have a friend or you have anyone, there's a little cheap Baofeng radio, and you can get these for $20 online, and you can listen in on the Pageland repeater to all the volunteers. You'll know when the cars are starting, when the bikes are starting, when people get there. So if you're sitting there and you want to go grab lunch and come back, you'll be able to know when the vehicles are starting, so that it doesn't, you don't have to sit there all day waiting for cars to come back. You'll know exactly where they are throughout the day. So this year we got 28 bikes, 24 cars, and 4 side-by-sides. With that, there's a lot of different classes in each one. With the cars, I don't know the classes. I'm not a, rally car guy. Enjoy watching it. Watched it for a long time. I don't know the classes, and I can't think of them off the top of my head. For the bikes, there's 4 classes. There is the Moto Dakar, which is what most people would think when they're thinking about a rally. It's going to be around that I believe it's 390-ish cc's up to, I think, just shy of 500. So it's basically the 450 class of bikes. That's going to be most of the race bikes and everything that everybody's running. The next class is going to be Moto Light, which is going to be the 250, 300 class. So it's like 200 cc's up to 350 or 385 cc's, I believe. So some of those guys from last year's Dakar class actually dropped down into that. Just because they went with like the TE 350, I think it was, and the KTM 350s. Really, really overpowered bikes for that class. But being that the class fits those, that's kind of what you're going to see is like the 350s and like WR 250s in that. Next one is going to be I believe the Adventure Heavy, which will be Africa Twins, GS's, like I believe the T7 might be in that one. And then there's the Adventure Light for the last class. And the Adventure Light is going to be like the what people are considering the light adventure bikes or the unicorn bikes. So KTM 500s, the 525s, anything in the 600, 650, 700 class, somewhere around in that. That's going to be the Adventure Light. This year, I didn't look for all of the classes, but I think there's 6 in the Moto Dakar class. And then most of everybody else is going to be in the adventure classes. And the Moto Light class will probably be the second smallest class. So it'll be smallest to largest. I believe it will be the Dakar, the Moto Light, and then the Adventure Heavy, and then probably Adventure Light. But that's kind of how it lays out for the bikes. And then there's the side-by-side class. I don't know anything about the side-by-side class. I know when I raced it last year, I saw them, but I don't know what they have for rules and regulations on those. So if you want that information, you can find that in the regulations for the Sandblast, and in the supplemental regulations, it'll have some of the smaller fine details that came out last minute. But with that, kind of just a warm and fuzzy, I would like you guys to just show up. One of the things I wanted to do, I wanted to YouTube live the whole thing. So I was actually going to wear my phone on a chest mount. I was going to YouTube live the whole race. Problem with that I found out, being new to YouTube, you can only YouTube live apparently if you have 50 subscribers or more. I don't want to be that guy asking for subscribers, but if I get 50 subscribers or more this week, I will be doing the whole race. As long as my phone stays charged, I will YouTube live the whole event from my bike. I might shut it off on some of the transits just so I could save battery power, but the whole stage part of it, the 9 stages, I will be YouTube living that again if I can get enough subscribers for that. But with that said, I'm going to switch over to my phone, and then we're just going to look at the bike. I'll actually go over how I have it set up for the rally, some of the things that are required for the rally, and why we have those things, going into what we would use it for, when we would use it, stuff like that. But I'll go ahead, I'll switch over the phone. All right, quick short video. I've done this one a couple times, but for the most part, DRZ 400 SM is a 2022 model. I threw green plastics on it with some KLX 400 graphics. I like the look of the KLX 400, so I just did that for this year's rally. I'm gonna shoot through this real quick. Wheels are KKE. I've had no problems with them. If you run them, there's gonna be no issues as long as you're using it for, you know, regular riding, to and from work, maybe to and from the gas station. Most trails will be just fine. I haven't taken on anything really, really hard, but I've never had any issues. Moving on. Next, SM model. I got the 320 millimeter rotor. I have 1 inch less suspension travel than the S model, but I haven't run into any issues with that because I'm not running it that hard all the time. Headlight is stock. I put the Tusk LED light in it. It is extremely bright. Typically don't run high beams because it's so bright. Up here, KLR 650 windscreen. It's a used windscreen I got from a guy, or my dad got from a guy when he had the bike a couple years ago. UFO handguards. I actually think these handguards are some El Cheapo handguards, and I just put the UFO plastics or the Cycra handguard covers on them, or flags, whatever they call them. The mirrors, they are Amazon mirrors. I don't need Ram mirrors because I don't use mirrors most of the time. Even with that said, these mirrors haven't jumped around. They don't vibrate all over the place. If you want the Ram mirrors, definitely go with them. I've heard nothing but good things with them, but I just don't use mirrors, so I didn't want to spend the extra money for it. All right. So up here, we got the rally navigation. This is your roll chart. That's how we navigate everything. It goes in tenths or hundredths of mile for where you need to turn. So it's a turn by turn. Mile 9.6, you turn left and you turn on that road, right? Right here, we've got a marker. We got a pen. That's so that I can write down all my information. When I get to the next stage, I can write down what time I got there, what time I need to be at the next one, stuff like that. The Ram quick grip mount. This quick grip mount, I love this mount. I had an X grip, lost a phone that way. I do have the quad lock mount. I don't have the case, and I didn't want to spend the money for the case because I already had this. Quad lock is a great one, but the Ram quick grip is a great mount. Haven't lost my phone. It hasn't tried to fall out. Doesn't vibrate all over the place. All right. Moving to the next, down here we got just the typical shifter pad or the brake pad, and then on the other side we got the tusk shifter, just a little bit longer, makes it a little easier to reach it in boots. The case savers, I've seen people blow out cases before and it will ruin a ride, so throw a couple case savers on there. They're really cheap. They just slap on there with adhesive, and it'll prevent your day from going from a great day to the worst day of your life. All right. Enduro Engineering skid plate, eBay header pipe into a Lex MX exhaust. I have the quiet core insert in it. I got no problems with it. I've been switching back and forth between the quiet core and without the quiet core, just so that I can see how the bike reacts and where I want it to actually ride for a daily driver. I got the Tusk foot or platform pegs. I like them. Wider pegs just make a lot less fatigue, especially when you're not in riding boots. If I'm riding to work, I'm not in riding boots. Those are a lot more comfortable. The Cherubies tank right there, 3.9 gallons, I believe. If you get this tank on a DRZ, it is wider. It does rub on your knees if you're trying to hold the bike with your knees a lot. The Guts Racing seat cover, I think it matches very well. Starts from purple, goes to pink, and it continues in pink. I just think it looks cool with the whole aesthetic of the bike. Right here, we got the bike's trying to fall off the stand. We got the warning triangle, so you just put that 150 feet behind your bike if you stop on the stage, so that anybody that comes around a corner or anything, they can see that and they can slow down before they get to you. You also carry a green OK sign with the backside has a red cross. In case you get hurt, you can hold that up and they can stop and get you help. Tusk D Sport tires. I love those tires. They're just heavy. They wear like iron. Probably got 1,500, 2,000 miles on them, and they have noticeable wear, but they're nowhere near worn out. So if you're going to run a tire and you want it to last forever, but also have off-road traction, the Tusk D Sport tires are great. Go ahead, throw it down in the comments below, anything you want to know about this bike or anything you want to know about the Sandblast, and down there will be the link to the full video. It's a longer video and I talk more in it, but I just wanted to make a short one so it's a little more enjoyable to watch. But get out, go ride, have some fun, guys.